Good morning and welcome back to another video, guys. I hope you guys could hear me. The music's a little bit loud, but today we find ourselves at a whole new park. It's another park with a Grand Carnival starting this weekend. It's not King's Dominion, our local park. It's Carowinds. We're gonna head into the park. We're gonna check out Grand Carnival here. It's also our first time ever here, and we're joined by one of our fellow Boo Bros, Michael from Hallowed Thrills. Make sure to check out his channel. I'll put a link in the description down with Boo Bros as well as Michael's channel. Make sure to check that out. We're gonna have a great time checking out a brand new park here on the border of North Carolina and South Carolina. So we'll be able to ride rides in 2 different states. Let's head inside the park and have some fun. And Carowinds, here we are. We're here at Rope Drop waiting for the park to open, but here is the dividing line of the Carolinas. And it goes all throughout the park. So a portion of the park, like I said, is in North Carolina and a portion is in South Carolina. So we're in North Carolina now, and we just traveled to South Carolina. Wow, impressive. Whoop, one state to another. And we are officially in the park. Michael is right ahead of us, and we're walking the dividing line. This is kind of dope how we could just cross over from one state to another. Kind of forgot what side is North Carolina and what is South Carolina, but I know without a doubt I'm going in between both states. We got a nice assortment of coasters. Got some 325-foot drops, got some 200-foot drops. There is a lot to experience today, guys, as well as their Grand Carnival here at Carowinds. All right, the park is still not officially open, so they're kind of holding us here in the entrance area, but I just wanted to take in some of the rides. You got Fury 325 right here, which is probably one of the most impressive entry roller coasters that I've seen. And what I mean by entry, I mean like entryway. As you like cross into the park over here, you go underneath the track, and then you can see all of it. Right now they are testing. You can actually see the train heading up. I think we're gonna wait up till the nighttime to add this one to the done lineup. All right, we are starting the day with Nighthawk. We just had rope drop and everybody rushed. We got a little bit of a line in front of us, but not much of a line behind us. This coaster looks pretty cool. I have no idea what to expect in traditional edutainment fashion. I have not done very much research, but I'm ready to have some fun. All right, psych. Nighthawk is not scheduled to open today. We did all that speed walking for no reason. And I'm coming. And Michael hyped this coaster up, and now we don't get to ride it. All right, so disappointment just came in the form of Nighthawk being closed. We're headed to our next ride. Like I said, I haven't done much research, so this guy's kind of my tour guide. Where are we headed, Michael?
We're headed to Copperhead Strike. It's a Mack Rides launch coaster, or Mach, however you want to pronounce it. But that's where we're going next, because once again, it's another slow ride ups type coaster here.
Yeah, the lines can be pretty crazy, so we're getting those out of the way, and let's brighten this up a little bit. So our first ride is about to come up.
I want to ride the only other.
Michael, how do you feel about Nighthawk being closed?
My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Yeah, that's his feelings on Nighthawk.
I wanted to ride the only other Vekoma Flying Dutchman in the world, and now I'm gonna have to come back down here again.
Oh, poor him.
It's an 8-hour drive, man.
And we've made it to our first ride. It looks like they are testing, so nobody has actually gone out on it. You can actually see the car right there. Woo! We have Copperhead Strikes. But we need to put you guys away so we can get our first coaster in the bag. All right, so we just got off Copperhead Strike, and wow. I mean, the theming of this particular ride is actually pretty amazing. Let me open you guys up a little bit more so you can see me a little bit better. And also the elements are amazing. Jeez, so right over here, this is like a top hat with an inversion at the top. So like it's like an upside down top hat. I'm not sure that that's actually what that type of element is called in a coaster, but that's what it felt like. That's what it looked like. This ride was pretty intense, nice and smooth. It reminded me of maybe like a lower budget Velocicoaster, but I would say maybe top 10 as far as coasters just in general. So it's up there with like Velocicoaster. I enjoyed it almost as much as I enjoyed a Velocicoaster. I would just say well-themed ride, and definitely for like a Cedar Fair ride. Not as themed as a Velocicoaster, but it's well-themed and the elements are amazing. All right, we're making our way over to our next ride, and it looks like over here by the water park entrance, people are getting in line to enter. Now, it is good to note that this park actually has two separate entrances for the water park. There's one within Carowinds as well as his own separate parking lot and entrance. So you don't necessarily need to enter from here, but from the looks of it, this must be the earlier line that gets in, because why else would people get in line from inside of Carowinds if they could go through their own separate entrance? And Houston, we have a boomerang. I haven't heard great things about this style of ride, but we're probably riding everything today, so we'll tell you in just a moment what it's like. And our boomerang is called the Flying Cobra. So two snake rides back to back. And the reason for the slingshot name is because you go up the lift hill, go throughout the whole entire ride, go up that way, stop, and then you come back the whole entire layout backwards. I haven't heard great things about this being a smooth ride, but we'll let you know in just a moment. All right, we just got off the Flying Cobra, and I gotta say, that is definitely a one and done. It's cool to say that we've done a boomerang coaster because I've never done that style of coaster, but man, is it sickening. Not necessarily sickening, but it made me a little queasy. It messed with my head a little bit, very rough. Reminds me of like over at Busch Gardens, the Loch Ness Monster, older ride, has that real like rattly type of feel. Cool when you go backwards, but the backwards portion is super intense. Now we're gonna make our way. We're gonna check out and see what is our next ride. All right, so Cobra Strike, and then that. Definitely two different ends of the spectrum. Cobra Strike Copperhead Strike, sorry, was amazing. The Flying Cobra, not so much. And you can see how I got confused there. Very similar names, two different snake rides, but we're gonna be making our way back this way. I think Afterburn is gonna be our next ride. Very similar to over at Busch Gardens, Alpengeist. All right, and towards Afterburn we go. I could already see some of the track layout over here in the distance. We got a Rita's in the park if you want to cool down, but I do gotta say, the layout of this park is interesting. Doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but man, do they have a good assortment of coasters. Alright, so as you can see the jet behind me, we have Afterburn in the bag. A great ride. As far as the like drop, a lot of similarities from the way that the ride starts in the lift hill and then drops off, but that's kind of where the similarities end. After that, the ride becomes a whole different experience. It's a lot faster than Alpengeist, but also a lot shorter. So I wouldn't say necessarily it is an identical type of ride. Very similar ride vehicle, very similar type of ride, but then the ride experience itself is pretty intense on here. We rode in the back, so it's typically the more intense portion. Hopefully we'll be back to ride the front of the ride as well, and we'll be able to give you a perspective of both. We're making our way to our next ride, and the theming in the area is super cool. It reminds me of like Jaws or like a water little town or ocean town, I guess you would say. Check this out. Tell me that's not like Jaws themed right there. The boats and everything. Carolina Boat Works. That looks awesome. I love that. Race to Alligator Alley. Right behind it we have Ricochet, and that is our next ride. We have a ride kind of like this at King's Dominion, and I've never ridden it. I don't think I've ever been on one of these. Let's get on and see if they're fun. All right, Ricochet in the bag. I gotta say, not one that I need to do again. That was terrifying. For the credit for Michael. I'm not too worried about coaster credits. I don't keep track of them. But I might have to try the Apple's Apple at King's Dominion just because it was cool enough. And this one was kind of terrifying because they put the like 4 biggest dudes that were in line all in one car. So it felt like the thing was gonna tip over each time. Now we're gonna go grab some food. We've gotten some coasters in, we've had some fun. We still got plenty of time here at the park, but food is next. And as we make our way to grab some food, we're passing by Hurler. Michael pointed out, and it's fairly obvious, that this is very similar to Twisted Timbers prior to what Twisted Timbers was before it got RMC. Looks like we have Jukebox ahead of us, which is a familiar food establishment from King's Dominion. Let's go check it out. All right, we got some Jukebox. Michael's gonna do the split where we're being cost conscious, right? Is that?
Sure.
So we're splitting a burger and fries, and we got a pib. Michael says it's a rare occurrence, but I get pib all the time.
Spicy cherry soda.
All right, Jukebox in the bag. We got our nutrients, feeling good. We took a little break, and now we're going to Carolina Cyclone, which is kind of like a Loch Ness Monster over at Busch Gardens, so it's gonna be a little bit rough. But the end game here is to get all the rides in. Michael wants to get all his credits. I'm not necessarily worried about the credits, but I'm along for the ride. So we'll get on the ride and see. I'll let you know how it is. But I have a feeling I'm gonna have a bit of a headache after this one. Alrighty guys, Carolina Cyclone in the bag, and it was exactly what I expected. A neck ache. What do you think, Michael?
It wasn't that rough. I mean, they recently redid the track, so it wasn't as rough as it could have been, but still pretty painful.
Yeah, I mean, that's just one of those coasters for me that it's gonna be a one and done. I, unlike Michael, like the more comfortable seats on a coaster. So front row is typically my style. Nice and smooth, you get to see what's coming. Back row kind of swings you around, and then a coaster like that, just there's no avoiding it no matter where you sit. Now, we're gonna move on over to what is Twisted Timbers over at King's Dominion, but here is Hurler. Let's go check it out. Now, up close and personal, this drop reminds me just like Twisted Timbers, except for Twisted Timbers obviously has that twist because it's an RMC, but a lot of it looks very similar. Even the load station is very resemblant of Twisted Timbers over at King's Dominion. All right, Hurler in the bag. Now, it's going down the hill right now behind us. And I gotta say, I was talking about how similar the layout looks to Twisted Timbers, but that ride is nowhere near a Twisted Timber caliber. Jeez, that was rough. Michael, how's your neck?
Ow. My legs have bruises all up the sides of them.
Yeah, that is a wooden roller coaster through and through, and rough as heck. Jeez, that thing needs an RMC, like little flip. Get a Twisted Timbers over here.
If that was anything like the Hurler that was at King's Dominion before they made it Twisted Timbers, I'm glad that is an RMC because they made the right decision.
Yeah, if this was a blast from the past, then King's Dominion made the right decision by going RMC on Twisted Timbers. Now we're gonna make our way over to one of the tallest coasters here, if not the tallest coaster here, right?
It's the tallest coaster here.
The tallest coaster here, Fury, 325 foot drop. Let's go. You know, and as we're about to get on Fury 325, I keep on thinking to myself, but forgetting to talk about it, we keep on crossing over from North Carolina to South Carolina, and that's one of the super cool things about this park that I talked about in the beginning and have failed to mention again, but some of these rides, as they take off and go up the lift hill, are in North Carolina, and some of them are in South Carolina. There's Michael. Oh, are they going up? Yes, they are. They're at the top. Wow, that is a quick rise to the top and probably an even quicker drop. All right, let's put you guys away in the lockers and get on. Little Green Day while we got off of Fury 305. Let's go sit down and talk about this real quick. All right, I'm not gonna lie, that little band over there, I'm warming up to them. The first song that they were singing, but they've been keeping it consistent. It's all like hits. But what we're here to talk about after we took a small break, hydrated and let it soak in, is Fury 325. That, Michael, was impressive.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I mean, Michael and I are debating. He's talking about putting it in his top 3. For sure, this is top 10 for me, without a doubt. I'm a huge fan of King's Dominion and I-305, and unfortunately, this hurts me to say, but this blows it out the water.
No match.
No match.
No match.
This is so smooth. The elements, the bank turns,
The pacing.
the pacing, the speed, the height. Oh my God, that
That
drop,
drop.
that drop is impressive.
You're looking over nothing but the track that you're supposed to be landing on,
Yeah.
and the rest of the track's underneath you.
And I said 325-foot drop, and Michael corrected me. It's a 325-foot lift hill, but a 320-foot drop?
Yeah, 320 was that drop.
320-foot drop, but still extremely impressive. So much so that we're riding it again. So I'm gonna put you guys away again. We're jumping back on, I was about to say I-305,
Yes,
on
yeah.
Fury 325. All right, so we're done with Fury 325 for now. That was an amazing ride, and where the Carolinas meet is worth visiting just for that ride. It's an amazing ride, but we continue on through the park. Next, we're gonna do Vortex, which is behind me, which is a coaster that I've only ever ridden once before at King's Dominion, and it's a standing coaster. It wasn't that easy of a ride to enjoy. It was kind of rough. I remember at King's Dominion, I think that's why they did away with it, but it's a coaster here, and Michael's trying to get his coaster credits, so let's go on Vortex. Check out this cool little tunnel with like the Grand Carnival theming that we just took a seat on after riding Vortex. And I'll tell you just now in a second what it was like. All right, so Vortex, not nearly as bad as I expected it to be. It's a unique coaster for sure with the stand-up feature, but it could be kind of uncomfortable. I remember over at King's Dominion, they had a version of it called, what was the one at King's Dominion called? I said it earlier.
Aftershock, Shockwave.
Shockwave, yeah, Shockwave. And that one, from my memory, was a lot much more rough. So, and I think you had, what had you ridden before?
Green Lantern at Six Flags Great Adventure.
And it was worse too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Vortex wasn't too bad. I think it's a cool experience. A coaster that I think will stick around for a while. Probably not, but cool experience to say that I've ridden a standing coaster. And it looks like we're finally running into the Grand Carnival portion of the park. This is where they'll have all the decorations, as you can see, as well as some of the booths to try different foods around the world. I may grab something to eat, but I'm actually kind of full at the moment. But we'll see what the options are. Over here we have the Grand Carnival Central, which is a little merch shop. Looks like they do have a limited edition t-shirt as well as a beaded necklace. The shirt's kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. I would get it. It's $24.99, and if you have a pass, maybe get like another 15% off of that. But not bad. And some other merch inside here. Here are some more of their booths and decorations. This looks like it's the India booth. It has a cool decorative elephant there, as well as you got the Grand Carnival stage with, look at this backdrop. You got a cool tower as well as some of the rides in the background. We're gonna go this way. I think we're gonna try Intimidator 305's big little brother. And check it out, we've made our full circle. Here are the state lines again. So we just came from North Carolina and we're heading back to South Carolina where Intimidator is. Intimidator 305's big little brother. You can see it right there in the distance. It's that red lift hill. And check it out, very reminiscent of I-305 as well as the lift hill. Don't know how high it is. It's got to be 200 something feet because 305 is obviously what we have at KD. But let's find a locker, put you guys away, and get on and I guess just Intimidator. All right, we just got off of Intimidator 305's big little brother. So a little bit shorter as far as the lift hill and the drops, but some of those airtime hills were amazing. This is almost like one of those cases where the older brother is a little bit shorter, maybe a little bit stockier. The younger brother is skinny and tall, but the older brother could still kick the younger brother's butt. I'm not gonna say that this was better than I-305, but it is up for grabs. I'm not too sure. I may need to ride this one a few more times before we leave because I enjoyed it greatly. And as we look at the lift hill, another thing to note is you don't gray out at all. At least I didn't on this ride. So a little bit of a difference when it comes to I-305 and Intimidator, but maybe you like graying out or maybe you don't. I know this guy likes to gray out. I'm not too big of a fan of graying out, so that's one of the things that actually makes me think that this may be a little bit better personally. But I-305 definitely owns a special place in my heart, so it'll be hard to decide. All right, we just grabbed some food at Harmony Hall, and we still got 3 rides to go. This being one of them, which is Kitty Hawk. The rest of them left are either family coasters or kiddie coasters, so they're gonna be a little bit tight for somebody like myself. But let's go and get them all in. 3 coasters left to do everything here at Carowinds. And we're about to get on the coaster, and surprisingly, I'm almost not short enough to get on it. That's funny. There's a minimum height requirement as well as a maximum height requirement on this one. So we just got our first kiddie coaster in the bag. Kitty Hawk wasn't too bad, but a little bit rough for being a kid's coaster. Maybe it's because we're a little bit oversized for a coaster of that size, but Michael is 100% for getting all his coaster credits. So we're sucking it up and we're getting on these little coasters that have our heads bouncing side to side. Did you enjoy it?
No.
No, me either.
But for the credit.
But it wasn't the roughest ride that we've ridden today.
Yeah.
It wasn't the roughest ride that we've ridden today.
I will say that. But it was just the most unsafe I felt in the ride today.
Maybe, but Hurler, 100%.
No, Ricochet, I'm sorry.
Ricochet.
I felt unsafe on that as well.
Yeah, that was scary, but
Hurler
was definitely the most painful. Hurler was the most painful.
Oh, yeah.
But we still got 2 more rides, and then we're going to see if we can get Boo Blasters in as well. Let's keep on moving. We're going into Camp Snoopy now. This Camp Snoopy is actually really nice. I like the setup. I know there's a kiddie coaster coming up in the back.
Version of the Woodstock Express.
You can hear Michael behind me, the Woodstock Express. And here we are at the Woodstock Express. Let's get in line. All right, we just got done with the Woodstock Express. Not much to say about that ride. It's just a kiddie coaster. They have the same one over at King's Dominion, but now we got Boo Blasters reopened. So let's get in line and check out Boo Blasters. Come on, Michael. Let's see what you got. What's Michael got? What do you got? Oh, I'm kicking your butt. Oh, I think your boy just 990.
990. Goated. Get out of here.
What the? How did you get 99? Shut up. All right, so we just got out of the Boo Blasters here. I gotta say, first and foremost, all right, the guns, you couldn't tell where you were shooting.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Definitely the downfall of that.
Yeah, my first blaster wasn't working at all, so I had to switch blasters halfway, and by luck, Michael won. I got 210 points, and he got like 990.
Goated performance.
Not that big of a difference.
Unconscious
Not that big of a
time.
difference. But now we're heading over to, what is it? The Plants vs. Zombies?
Garden Warfare.
Yeah, so I have no idea what this is. It looks like another blaster type of game, but it's Plants vs. Zombies, which is a game on your cell phone. Is that what you ride? Alrighty, guys, we just got done with Plants vs. Zombies.
Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare.
And, you know, we had low expectations, but it was actually pretty fun. It's a cool shooting game. It kind of is like an interactive version of Minions over at Universal Studios, and I got a lot of points. So I kind of got my revenge on Michael, even though he was on my team. Now we're going. Go ahead.
I love the fact that it's team-based. I'm gonna be honest. I love that you can like play against your friends, but you're also for a greater.
So he doesn't lose, even
greater
though I
goal.
did better.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna ride.
Our last coaster of the night, Carolina Gold Rush. As far as coaster credits go here at the park.
Yeah, we'll be done. Let's get there. All right, and we did it. We finished every single ride at Carowinds. Now, we'll probably get a night ride on Fury and check out the carnival to end the vlog. Let's go check out the carnival real quick. Their Grand Carnival is going on right now, and they have the parade going. Started at 8. We were stuck in line for the ride, so we just got a chance to go check it out. But this is a great way to end the night after riding all the rides here at Carowinds. Look at all the cool characters all dressed up. And these floats are pretty impressive too. And looks like the Carnival parade ends right in the front of the park, where the split of North Carolina and South Carolina is. Characters are here interacting with the crowd. You got some of the floats here that you can take pictures with. And bam, now they're asking the different states to make some noise. Alrighty guys, what a way to end a great night with that carnival and that last moment here at the split of the Carowinds Park in between North Carolina and South Carolina. It's so cool to come to a park that is in between states. That's so awesome that you could come visit both Carolinas, the Carolinas, while here at Carowinds Park. Our first time here has been amazing. A ride like Fury 325 actually goes in between both states, which is kind of cool to say that you rode a ride and while riding that ride you crossed the border into a different state. That was pretty awesome. We got to ride also the big little brother of Intimidator 305 at our local park, King's Dominion. Here it's Intimidator, which the seating was really cool. You had like 2 seats in the front, and then in the back the seats like split up. It was really like interesting the way that they did the ride vehicle. Completely different from I-305, and I gotta say it's a competitor for being a little bit better than I-305. Sometimes, you know, Big Brother, although he's a little bit smaller, a little bit more stocky, he still can beat up the bigger, younger brother. And in this case, that might be the case, but I still haven't come to a conclusion that this ride is better than I-305. I-305 holds a special place in my heart, but we've had a blast, man, and we rode all the coasters here at Carowinds, and we got to experience the Grand Carnival as well. We'll be back at King's Dominion to experience their Grand Carnival. I had no idea that for this trip the Grand Carnival was going to be starting today while we were here. We had a blast bringing you guys along. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out Carowinds for our first time here and your first time with me, obviously. I'll see you guys on the next one, but don't forget to ask yourself, have you been entertained?